Hello. I am here to give suggestions on how to open a card shop. So I've been getting a ton of messages on, hey, what do I do first? And the first thing you really have to do is find a location, because the first thing you have to do is you have to get in contact with distributors. And the way to do that is you have to have a brick and mortar store. So if you get a location, then you have a brick and mortar store, because distributors will ask for pictures and proof that you have a brick and mortar store. So you have to find a location. Now, a good starting location would probably be like between 1,200 to 1,500 square feet, just because you want to have room to expand, and you have to have a fairly large parking lot. Not too big, enough for like 10 spaces. We have 3, and it's abysmal. When no one's here though, we have a total of 7, and it's not terrible for just like day-to-day stuff, but for tournaments we have to use a parking lot that's connected, not terribly close to us, but I mean it's a fairly big parking lot. It's like what, 15 spaces, 15, 20, and that's enough for just like a Friday Night Magic. I mean, it's doable for a pre-release. I don't know how or where people park for our pre-releases since I'm inside, but I mean, people find spots. So just keep in mind parking, and keep in mind that you are gonna have to have like enough table space for upwards of 60 people at minimum. I mean, we have enough space for 60 to 72 people, just like not terribly comfortable, but it's doable. We can cram 100 maybe. I think we've crammed 110 people in here, but our space right now is about 1,400 square feet, and most of it is most of it's table space, and then we have about 400 square feet just dedicated to the back of the store, which we have computers and we have counter space. So that's like the other 400 square feet. So like 1,000 square feet of table space and 400 square feet of just retail storage place for your inventory and everything. And that's fine if you're just, you know, doing Magic or collectible card games, because that's going to be enough space for, if you have slat wall, you can do that, or if you use pegboard. Pegboard and slat wall are probably the easiest ways to hold product and shelves and sleeves and stuff. If you want to have binders, you'll have plenty of room for binders if you want to go that route of having all your singles and binders, which is what we did before, and then we had card cases for all of our rares and singles. But I mean, 1,400 square feet is probably about fine. Maybe 1,200 square feet if we don't plan on doing a lot more. We find that we don't have enough space, and if we want to go into like board games or anything, we're gonna have a hard time because we don't have enough room. So if you do want to go into board games, you don't need as much table space unless you have like a board game day where you have like 40 people come into the store, which I mean, you can totally do. There's a store down the street that does that, and they do really well. But I mean, if you're going to do board games, you're going to want a bigger store, and keep in mind that, I mean, you need table space for people to play. So the first thing you have to do is find a location, and keep in mind parking lot and table space. The next thing you're going to have to do is find distributors, because I mean, you can go through directly with Wizards and NECA and WizKids and things like that. You can go directly through them, but you're not going to be able to get everything, just because like Wizards, they only have a specific allocation for stores weekly. So like you can get 3 cases of a particular set every week, which I mean, for most stores it's fine. You probably won't have to go through 3 cases of a single set, because you can get 3 sets of Cons, you can get 3 sets of Dragons of Tarkir, 3 cases of Fate, 3 cases of M15. and that's just from Wizards, and you should be fine with that if you're, not selling online or anything. But if you get bigger, you might have to order more, or for pre-release sets, you're going to have to get more than 3 cases from it, because that's also for pre-releases, you only get 3 cases. And they also might not have any. It's really just like the way Wizards does it is they send an email out and they'll be like, we have this available, and you make a weekly order. So you're gonna have to find a distributor, because you're probably gonna have to need more than that. I mean, especially for pre-releases, we order a ton of stuff for pre-releases, and we don't always.
But how much of that would you say?
We might need more. So the best way to find distributors is, I know the way we found ours is like just by Googling distributors. You can find the big ones like Alliance, ACD. Those are 2 good ones. Alliance will pretty much have everything you'll ever need ever. They're a little bit more expensive because they are like the biggest distributor that I know of. And ACD, they have a lot of stuff too. We used to go through them a lot for our sealed, or not for our sealed, but our accessories, like our sleeves, our deck boxes, our binders, and then we would go through them for some of our sealed product. And then Alliance will have every sealed product you'll ever need, but they're a little bit more expensive, so keep that in mind. You might be able to find cheaper ones. Also, if you stay with one distributor, you can get your allocation up, so you'll be able to get more product from them every pre-release, which is good, because you'll get more pre-release product, you'll get more special product too, like Modern Masters is something that's allocated like that. It's a little different now, but for the most cases, the more stuff you order, the more stuff you're going to be able to get in the future. So sticking with one and just getting your allocation up, it'll also bump your prices down. So if you stay with them forever, you can make deals. Like if you order 100 of this, they'll lower your cost by X amount. So if you make friends with the distributor, then they can always help you out, because they want to get rid of it too. They make commission, they want to make money, you want to make money, so it helps everyone out. So having a good rapport with your distributor is important. And then once you get distributors, or once you get your location, get distributors, then you can start advertising. The best way to advertise your store is word of mouth. So if you go to a different card store, you can tell your friends that, hey, you're opening up a new card shop and this location, and then if you do a good job, then they'll come back, and then when those friends go to other shops, they can tell them about this store, and then it'll just spread, because one person tells 3 people, and those 3 people will tell more people, and then that's just the best way to get your name out there. We didn't do a lot of advertising. We did word of mouth, and then we had a large gathering of friends, and they told their friends, and then it just spread. Eventually we did Facebook. Actually, we started out with Facebook too. So if your friends have Facebook and then they spread it, and share posts and share things like events, then more people get to know about you guys, and that's really important. If no one knows about you, then you're not going to sell your stuff. Unless you go online, which I recommend. I would decide sooner or later if you want to do the online route. You can start out with eBay. You can sell your singles and everything like that on eBay. It's going to cost you like 12% in just fees and everything you sell. But it's worth it just early on. We upgraded to going on TCG Player, so we bought a website and we got everything on TCG Player. If you have the money, you can get a cheap website and just go through TCG Player. It's really easy to get on TCG Player. All they really required was that we had proof that we're a store, so that's another reason why you need a location, because they're going to need proof that you're a brick and mortar store.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I see how much.
Also, TCG Player is less fees than eBay. It's a lot easier to keep track of your inventory because I know eBay, like if someone cancels your sale or cancel their auction or whatever, then that messes up the inventory a little bit. So we've had just nightmares of inventory with the eBay where we sold stuff that we just didn't have, or we had more than what we had inventoried, or we had more showing that on we actually had more in our inventory that we were showing on eBay. So I mean, keeping track of inventory on eBay was just a pain. If you make a website and go through like a Crystal Commerce or something like that, then it's just infinitely easier because all your inventory is just on the admin, and it's really easy to keep track of. If you want to use a POS system, you can go the big route of just like getting like a Cash Register Express or something like that, just a program that keeps track of like your entire POS system. You don't need that. We had that when we first opened, and then we realized that we just weren't using 90% of the features. We really just were using the register and the credit card swiper. What we came to realize is that if you get like PayPal or Square or something, you're going to save fees, and it's infinitely easier than going through like a bank or something like that, because you're going to have to go through a bank and go through paperwork to get your point of sale system registered and everything like that. So we just have a register and we have PayPal, and our POS system is tied in directly to our website admin, and it's way easier than what we were using before with like an actual point of sale system with a register. You can go that route. It's easy. I mean, if you have a lot of inventory, I mean, it might be worth it. It just wasn't worth it for us. Like, you could do a ton of stuff, like everything. Like if you're doing board games, I could see someone using a POS system like that for board games, since everything has a barcode, and then you can just scan out everything, scan in everything when you get it in, and then everything's inventoried. Keeping track of like individual packs is kind of annoying. Keeping track of boxes is not terribly annoying, but I mean it's just something that you don't have to do. But if you want to do it, it's doable, and you can do all that through Crystal Commerce too if you get your own website also. So you can go either one of those routes, or you don't have to go through any like that and just have a binder full of Magic singles or something. I mean, it's doable. We had binders full of inventory, and it was alright. I mean, it was kind of annoying to stock the binders, but I mean, you have to do it. So, what else is there? I'm trying to think about the questions that people ask a lot. Let's see, POS system, distributors, inventory, locations. Another thing we get a lot of questions about our cases too. So our cases are roughly, I don't have the exact dimensions on them, but they're like 6 inches, or 6 feet 4 inches tall. They're about 4 inches deep. Each section is like, let's see, about 4 inches. They're 4 feet wide, and each door is like 2 feet wide. I mean, if you're a carpenter, you can probably make them. We had someone make them for us. We didn't really give them any specifics, just like it needs to fit a Magic card in a plastic case on a shelf. They can fit about 8 across. We actually use hard cases that have like the little lid that pops off. Those are the best ways to do it. I mean, it fits 15 cards. This probably makes no sense, but there you go. I would draw a picture, but I'm kind of lazy. But they're about 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide. There you go. What else? That's all I can think of right now. It's distributors, location, and things like that. So there you go. I hope this is informative, and there you go. Goodbye.